I have a burning question.
Go in. Go in.
Where is Goo?
Goo?
Where is Goo?
All right. So let me start with. So I spoke to Alfie about a month ago, right?
You're still in contact with them like that?
No, Alfie's those are my guys, yo.
I love this.
I spoke to I spoke to Alfie about a month ago because I don't know if you guys saw there was a short film reimagining of my brother.
Yeah.
I got sent and I was like, yo, this is crazy.
That's how the first press got started.
So I spoke to Alfie. He ended up going to that. I couldn't get away to go to that. There was the screening in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I just I let them know like, hey man, like I'm interested in working toward whatever that goes to.
Right.
So I haven't seen or talked to Jimmy Goo in about it's been I would say 5 years, but that's me not really realizing that's 25 years ago is
gosh
2019. So maybe 2017 was the last time I talked to Jimmy.
Wow.
And he was doing okay. I think he was moving he was in Georgia and was moving to Texas. Okay. Was the last time I spoke to Jimmy. So that's really the only one who I've been able to stay in touch with.
Gotcha.
So I ran into Didi years ago, but
was he telling? Did he tell?
Was he
telling somebody? Didn't he? I know
he was a cop and was crazy. We bumped into. I was at like it was a gas station. It was a Walmart or something like that, and we just looked at each other, and it was just on some crazy. It was like, wow. And we rapped for a little bit, and that was more than a couple years ago too. And Amanda Seals is mad at me, but she mad at everybody. So I ain't spoken to her more than a few years also. So
did she see you as a white woman?
Don't
even worry about. Don't answer that, Chet. Don't answer that.
Gee, I gotta ask because you when I was looking again trying to find information on you and seeing you've talked about because you not only again I mentioned your IMDb but like you were a Nickelodeon kid. You said this in the past. You were doing a lot of work back in the day as a kid. Because how old were you here?
I was 12 there.
Big 12. I was squaring them shoulders. That nigga was destined
to be that's why when I look back, I'm like, oh, that's him right there, and I'm like that's a big looking nigga right there. But
all right, so did you go to Oak Tree to get that, or did they deliver that like from?
Nah, man, I was a football playing kid. This was actually even before I started working out, but I was playing football. Like that was what I wanted to do more than even act around this time was play football.
That makes sense. I asked because I remember as a kid, I was a Nickelodeon kid and I was watching everything. And I remember when My Brother and Me came out, I'm like, nah, like, I need this. I need this as a 12-year-old kid getting that opportunity. Did you square that in your brain? Like, oh, Nickelodeon's doing a show with a bunch of black people. Did that?
So it didn't square like that, right? So when you do the readings. So the episode that I was on was actually the pilot of My Brother and Me, the haircut. So the haircut is what got My Brother and Me actually greenlit.
Yeah.
So it was the pilot of the show, and then they shot it at the end of the first season because I was supposed to come back on the second season as a recurring character.
Oh.
She always. So that's Eva. Hello, everybody. So it was just one of because at that point I'd been on Welcome Freshman. I was an extra on Clarissa Explains It All. I'd done a couple of different. So I was a Nickelodeon kid. So at that point, the one thing that I can remember being like, yo, is because your parents come and then you have these meetings where you have to do table reads and you have to do these things. And at that point, everybody's parents come in. But at that point, you start looking around like, oh, everybody's black. Right. So I knew like Amanda, I grew up with Amanda Seals. Like I've known Amanda Seals since we were kids, right? went to probably middle school and high school together. Me and Amanda did, and so she was the one that I knew, but everybody else is the only one that was white was Ralph. I can't remember what his character name was, but his real name was Ralph, the white kid with the bowl cut and the glasses.
He always had the glass in the hat.
Harry. His name was Harry in the show. So he's the only white one. So at that point, that's kind of what's resonating. You look around like, damn, it's just us in here. Right. And then you look at you start reading the script, and you start seeing like, oh, okay, this is what this is. So it doesn't. What's crazy how it's like '90s black kid folklore, and it only ran one season. Like everybody thinks my brother and me ran like for 2 or 3 seasons, but because that was the only thing we had for black kids. That was the only Nickelodeon show that we really could be like, oh, this is the one. This is the one.
Damn, that it's this right here. You just what was the conversation? I mean, I guess was this the first time you ever got anything cut in your head? And B, what was that conversation? Because I mean, that's a lot of sculpting going on.
Was it you or Charles Oakley in the chair first?
All right, so I'll tell you 2 stories about that. So one, yes, that was the first time that I ever had anything like that, because I got old Guyanese parents, and if I wanted a dollar sign in my you want what? You want a dollar sign in your what? So if I was part in the joint, I was thugging it a little too much. You know what I mean? So that's my old Caribbean parents. But so the character's name originally was Ray, and I can remember I was actually telling this story last night. I was at my uncle's house, and so me and my dad, I go to the studio barber. It's a Saturday morning. We're gonna start shooting on Monday. Go to the studio barber, and I'm sitting down, and then one of the executive producers comes in, and we're talking, and I just say to him, I was like, "Hey man, this is great, and I'm happy about doing this, but my boys are gonna clown me if I come back to school or if they see me with Ray in the back of my head. Like, is there any way that we could change my name to the character?" And he looks at me for a little bit like, this kid is crazy. But then I don't know, man, maybe he had some homeboys back in the day that was vicious or cruel or whatever, and he thought about it and looked at me, made a phone call, came back, told the barber, cut Kenny in his head. They changed the script, they changed the character's name, everything went from Ray to Kenny.
That's why you need certain people in the room to understand those conversations. That right there, chat, is what we're talking about all the time when it comes to representation. Because there's some people that would have heard that, been like, "What the hell is he talking about? Don't let's keep his name Ray."
Friends? What? Your friends? Yeah. Nah, damn. that is the power of representation in the room.